What is SAP FICO? Okay, so FICO means financial and controlling. Earlier in one of the step up circles, I have also covered. You can go through and watch the step up circles video where I have covered the the basics of finance. That what is accounting, what is books, what is T accounting, that kind of very basic of finance I have covered, and I have also covered how the finance get integrated with module. Now I will today speak about, then I will give it to Abida to take it further. Today I will speak about the finance overview and what is SAP FICO. Will focus on the SAP side of it. Earlier we focus on the basic finance. Now we talk about the SAP FICO. So when anyone talk about the SAP FICO, basically it is a combination of two modules, okay, finance and controlling. So in finance, we control that your general ledger accounting, account payables, account receivables, that comes under the finance part of it, right? And then the second module, which is the controlling module. So in controlling module, it comes at how the management accounting need to be done, how your profit center accounting need to be done, how the interlink with the PP and you do the material price determinations, how it need to be done, how to identify the cost of a product, that kind of cost calculation that comes under the CO part. So whenever we talk about SAP FICO training, or SAP talk about SAP FICO, or anyone talk about the SAP FICO training, it's majorly SAP Finance. Okay, so it majorly SAP Finance would be there, and in CO part it would be the overview of CO, overview of controlling. Any training you go for, it's called FICO training, but it's majorly the finance, SAP Finance training, and overview of CO and controlling would be there. Same we are also doing it. So we suggest people that first to get trained on FICO, which would be the finance one, and then they can upskill, they can do a specific trainings that would be the 30 hours of trainings, 30 to 40 hours of training only on controlling. Okay, so when you go into the projects also, in projects also you will find two different consultants. Finance would be SAP Finance would be a separate consultant who are handling the financial part of it, and CO would be a separate consultant. Although we call them as FICO consultant, FICO consultant, but there would be two consultants, especially if the manufacturing is there. Okay, and there's a lot of stuff which need to be controlled by a controlling guy, and once the manufacturing is there, you need a specific CO guy for the product costing specifically. Product costing would be one of the big component of CO. So CO would be always a separate consultant. So first we do the SAP Finance and FICO overview part. You can cover it, and later on you can jump into the advanced training of CO. And then there are the another financial modules are also there. FSCM is there, financial supply chain management is there, which covers some another detailed modules of like treasury management. Those kind of things has been covered into the another modules, which is called FSCM module. So that so now it comes that who are the people who can be trained into the SAP FICO, who can do the FICO training and who can become a SAP FICO consultant. Okay, let's talk about that. So if you are a person who's working in finance jobs, okay, finance operations. Finance operations means you're working as an accountant. If you're working as an accountant, if you're working as a controller, okay, these kind of operations job of finance, if you're working on, you can get trained on SAP, and you would be able to become a SAP FICO consultant. So if you have some basics experience on finance side, okay, then you can get trained on SAP, and you can become a SAP FICO consultant. Now, freshers also, freshers with the finance stream. Freshers with finance stream, if you have done the MBA in finance, if you have done the commerce courses in finance, you can also get trained on SAP FICO. You would be getting a two benefit from the SAP FICO. First benefit for the freshers is there are a lot of companies when you will be going and doing a job, especially in the finance, you need to handle the books, right? And to handle the books, some ERP system would be used. SAP is one of the biggest ERP which is used in that sector. And all the major companies, Fortune 500, if you will find it out, more than 60% of the company, you will find that they have implemented SAP and they are working on SAP. So what is happening, and it's happening a lot, especially in the area of Europe, US, and India also, when they want to take someone into the operations job, it is the finance job, accountant job, controller job. For that kind of jobs also, asset management related jobs, account payable management job, account receivable management job, for that kind of jobs also, they are looking for that the guy should be knowing the SAP. So for freshers, it can help in the two ways. First, that you can get into the operations job easily. You can get into the operation job easily with this training. With SAP training, you would be getting selected in the companies where the SAP is there, because they prefer that the for the operation jobs also, if they are taking someone, if he has experience in SAP, that would be preferred. I have just covered a success story yesterday, which will be published in 2 weeks of time, where for a mechanical fresher who got trained on PP module, and then he got selected in one of the company in Shell. Although it would be more of the operation job, but because of the SAP skills, they have taken it, because a lot of SAP things, related things, need to be done in that job. So that part, it would be helping it out for the freshers. And once they gain some experience with this training, they can also get themselves converted into the SAP FICO consultant, where the implementation, they would be going into the companies and they would be consulting them that how the SAP FICO would be implementing, and the implementation of SAP FICO would be happening. So those consultants can go ahead with this. If you want to become a solution architect, if you want to become a solution architect, FICO is the module you want to learn. And if you want to cross-train yourself, there would be a lot of people here who already know one of the modules and who are interested into the cross-training, who want to become a solution architect. Anyone in the audience who would like to cross-train or who want to go towards the path of a solution architect, SAP solution architect, a functional solution architect? They are the technical solution architects, then they are the functional solution architects. Mention on the chat window if you're interested to go towards a path of a solution architect. Mention SA in the chat window quickly. SA in the chat window. So Shashi is there, Balvinder Sindhu is there, Tausif is there, Sukhvinder is there. So especially the people who are into the logistics, I highly recommend them to do the two courses to go toward the solution architect. One is the course we have is ABAP for functional consultant. Okay, specifically we have created a course where basically only the specific part has been covered, so that the functional consultant know a little bit technical part if they want to go towards the solution architect role. And the FICO would be very important, because any module, you go into any industry, whether the module is there related to sales would be there, manufacturing would be there, procurement would be there, plant maintenance, quality management. So plant maintenance might not be there, manufacturing might not be there, quality management might not be there, but one module which would be there in all of the implementations is SAP FICO. That's why the demand of SAP FICO is huge. What I have seen, specifically people who come from the technical backgrounds, specifically people who are into the logistics, who are into the supply chain more, whenever the discussions happen, if you are a solution architect, you might need not to thoroughly know each and every configurations and everything about that module. That's not required, but you should be knowing overview of that module, that how, what kind of scenarios are there, what kind of master data is there, what kind of basic configurations are there, what kind of terminology is used, right? Credit, debit, management, accounting, account payables, account receivables, dunning, a lot of these kind of terminology would be used. And if you are a solution architect, you would be handling a business, finance VP, finance directors, finance manager, you would be doing the talks to find out the solutions. And when they would be talking about in finance terminology, if you don't know FICO, all the talks related to SAP FICO would be bounced from your head. It would be totally bounced from your head. It happens with me. I also got trained myself on SAP FICO through Abida, and earlier 3 years ago, I took another SAP FICO training. I took that training and I do the multiple solution architect roles. So what happened with me that I was very strong into the logistics, production planning, sourcing procurements, materials management. I was very strong. But as soon as in the discussion board, there is no module which which can be completed without FICO. Would be having a strong integration with FICO, sourcing and procurement. Your production planning, very strong integration with FI, and very big integration with CO. Sales, very big integration with the FICO modules. None of the modules would be covered. Inventory management or whatever the modules you will touch, it cannot be covered without FICO integration. So when you go into the design discussions and when you're trying to cover an end-to-end process or any one process you're trying to cover, it cannot complete without the discussion related to finance. And when finance people start discussing, okay, which account will get hit, how the reconciliation will happen, what will be credit, what will be debit, those terminologies when it comes into the picture, it totally bounced from my head. I was not able to cop up that what discussion is going in the room. Then I try to understand that learning some basics of SAP FICO module is very important, especially if you want to become a solution architect. So we highly recommend this module if you want to cross train into the another modules, because it has a linkage with all the modules. And if you want to become a solution architect, to at least understand the discussions, what is going on, and to a little bit contribute into the solution, although a specific FICO consultant would be there with you as a solution architect, but you should be knowing the things so that you can ask him what need to be done. So this module would be very important. If you are an end user, if you are already using SAP FICO as an end user, if you are a core user, end users and the core user are the best who become the FICO consultant. Whatever the SAP consultants, I know that these are the best FICO consultant. They all come from the end user or core user background. They work first as a end user of SAP, putting data entries in SAP, doing accounting work, doing a management accounting work, controlling work, and then later on they got trained on SAP FICO and they become a consultant. So if you are SAP end user, this is the best chance for you to become a consultant by learning this training. So whoever are the people who are the end users, this training would be help you to become a consultant. Now the people who are completely freshers, you are fresh graduate, this training is going to help a lot to you to get all the operations job which require a SAP FICO. Although we go into the depth of the configurations and everything, but even though you would be able to explain the basic things in SAP, how the transaction happens, how the cycles happens, how the master data is managed, you would able to also apply for a lot of jobs, operation jobs, which recommend to have a SAP knowledge. So with that part, I would be handing it over to Abida, and she would be covering some overview of SAP FICO. We'll try to also go through some screens, some account payable, account receivable scenario. She would be explaining it. And then we'll be opening it for the question and answers. And at the last, we would be opening it for the career consulting related questions. So Abida, if you are there, over to you.
Thank you, Parminder. You covered almost a nice area about FI as well as CO differences, then end user, what is a consultant, solution architect, a lot more covered by you. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen before we start. And let me know in a chat window if you can see my screen. It's a Excel I have opened for you as of now.
Yes, we can see the Excel sheet.
Yeah, thank you so much for confirming. Right. Right. So when we are talking about FICO, these basically are both different modules. So as Parminder already cleared you that FI stands for financials and CO stands for controlling. No, this particular part, financials and controlling, why this is said like FICO. FI and CO goes hand in hand. Okay, FI financials and our controlling part goes hand in hand. We will try to learn more when we go in further depth of our training. But as if now, yes, it's a basic terms which we are discussing. So FI financials and the controlling, how it goes hand in hand. FI stands for entire starting to our financial, like scratch, end to end. From scratch, or when I say scratch, it's invoice receipt or any kind of receipt or any kind of voucher entry as a which reflects our financial statements. Let us talk about in accounting terminology. When I say financial statements, our financial statements include starting with trial balance, P&L account, profit and loss account, or can I say trading account? Before trial balance, it's a trading account. Trial balance, then we have a profit and loss account. Then we have a balance sheet. So these are the financial statements we'll be preparing these year-end as a part of year-end activities to exactly know where our company stands and what are our assets and liabilities of a company, and how if my company is going on a profits or losses, how it's going on, why it's going on in a losses or profits. Entirely every financial statement will support us, or it will let us know how our company's position is. This is a main motto, right, of our preparing all the financials. As a part of controlling, once we have a profit and loss account or balance sheet simultaneously, this controlling will help us to know the overheads. Overheads are all about costings. All about costing. So whatever it's done, the expenses or incomes or revenues, whatever it incurred, it's incurred. Okay, but what this overhead costing will let us know? It will help us, whatever it's incurred with the help of this overhead costing, it will help us a management to know about, or management to take better decisions, how they can take better decisions, how they can control over their cost, how they can improve their incomes or revenues, how they can take the better decisions with the help of this overhead and costing concept here. So net controlling is known for internal reporting. It's known for an internal reporting purpose. Please ignore my spelling mistakes. Okay. So it's for internal reporting. When we prepare these financial statements over here, it is known for external reporting. Why it is known as external reporting? Because this will be displayed, this balance sheet, profit and loss account, these financial statements will be displayed to the shareholders, public, government sectors, non-government sectors. So wherever it's required for taxes purpose and all, it's for external reporting. But whereas controlling is for only management to take better decisions here. It's an internal. So these goes both hand in hand. So in S4HANA also, simple finance terminology, they have come up with the simple finance wherein FI and CO got merged. Now they are not sub-modules, they are a single module now. FI plus CO or simple finance terminology. This is a terminology. Both together now. Okay, so the part of FI, what are the topics which we'll cover? So we cannot go with the total content as if now, but yes, major part, we will discuss the content and then I'll show you how it reflects, what's an end user and what is the consultant role we are going to get trained over here. Fair enough? Shall we go to the content, guys? Yes, no, maybe in a chat window. Right, very good. So here as a part of consultant role, we will be discussing what about organization structure. Or we can say it's org and enterprise structure. As a part of consultant, we will be discussing how to set up a company, related business areas, credit control areas. Okay, so how to create a company codes, different entities. If a company has a different entities, how we can create different entities. Then we will be looking about how the country deals with the taxes. What are the currencies? What are their currencies? Okay, so where is located? Is it only in a region wise located or other regions? When I talk about regions, is it in India or is it in the US? Where it is? Okay, so what are their areas in a regions they are set up, and what are the locations? Let's say, for example, if it is a India, where in India? How they are dealing with, if it is a currency, if it is the India, which currency they are using, what are the type of taxes they are using, if it is a US, what type of taxes they are using, and what are the currency they are using, and how we are going to set up, like for example, our enterprise structure. Let's say, for example, our enterprise structure is ABC, organization is ABC Private Limited. This ABC Private Limited, if it is dealing with the regions like India and US both, then how we gonna set up our org structure in such a way that when I post for entries of India, currency should be INR and the taxes should be GST. And when I post for US, my currency should be USD and my taxes should be ST. So these particular areas, where are the locations and how they deal with their customers, how they deal with the Indian customers, in US customers, Indian vendors, US vendors, everything we're going to take it care in the org structure. So as a part of FI, we have sub modules, which is a GL module, AP. Okay, let me clear you. General ledger. This is a GL instance, general ledger module. General ledger module. So as a part of general ledger module, what are the areas which we'll be covering? So we'll be covering, as a part of general ledger module, how we can create a groups, ledger groups. Why we need these ledger groups? How I can create my general ledger? What is general ledger mean? Okay, when I create the general ledger, how these groups affect? How does my report affect? How do I do posting? So if someone is here from end user, they'll understand. Okay, so posting, then parking. Okay, reversals. We're going to talk about more about accruals, foreign currency transactions, posting with the different currency transactions, everything. But these are the end user roles: posting, parking, reversals. These are the end user roles. So to post my document means to post an entry. Let's say, for example, we paid rent or any transport charges or any travel expense. We pay travel expenses, so and so amount. Can someone put in a chat window what is an entry for travel expense? It's a normal general entry I need. Timesheet entry, yeah, it can be, but I'm looking for a normal journal entry. Yes, right. Very good. So any expense, exactly, travel expense or any expense will go as a debit. And our here either cash or bank. Now, no more cash transactions, right? No more cash transactions. We have only bank transactions. So let us take bank. Which bank account, what bank account, we will try to learn in a later stage, what kind of expenses. But here, let us take a simple example. Expenses account debit to bank account. This is an entry. Agree? Agree, guys? Yes, no, maybe in a chat window. Yes, right. So let us take the same example and let us see how to post the same example over SAP. Okay, so I'm going to the SAP window here. We will see. Yeah. So let us take, this is the window to post a GL transaction. No, everyone have their own developed platforms or software to be used to process the invoices, right? So this is a SAP screen wherein we can post the transactions. Now, this is my company code. I'm taking an example of the earlier company code. BH00 is my company, which is a BHEL Private Limited Hyderabad. Okay. Now see, the moment I selected my company code over here, BHL Private Limited Hyderabad, it is populating INR currency and the BHEL related details, right? So how it is populating when I change, see, when I change my company code to some other company code. Okay, so it is populating Tata Motors and this is also set up in a INR currency. Right, so this is populating the areas already. So this is a part of a consultant role. Before we do postings, before an end user post, they will do the setup in a system in such a way that end user, by selecting the company code, switch between the different entities to post the invoices. Okay, let us see about, or let us see first of all how we can pick the GL accounts and how these are created later stage. Okay. Now, let us go for a document date. So I'm pulling today's document. Either you can type here, we'll discuss how to post, but as if now it's only for your idea purpose. So test document. So here header text, okay, we are paying some expenses. So I can say XYZ expenses or some travel expenses or any kind of aid, salary, whatever. So as I have taken example, travel expense, or you can simply quote here expenses. Okay, the next GL account. So which GLs are hitting here? What are the GL accounts? So here in SAP, GL accounts will be created as a numeric values by giving the description. So how we gonna create these numeric values is what we will learn first of all groups. Then later on, we will see how the GL accounts will be created. But as if though these all are the GL accounts which are created in for a company code BH00, and this is the description. So as I don't have here, I can't see here travel expenses. Shall we go for transport charges or something, rent account, salary account, out of which we have here? Yes, guys, shall I pull the transport charges? Okay, I'm pulling the transport charges. Yes. So transport charges now. Now simple language. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, simple language. See, 400, 300 is my GL account. The moment I select, we need to just simply click on either our credit or debit. Is my GL expense of travel or transport is going to debit or credit? So it's a simple debit. I have picked the amount. So let us pick the amount, like in an example, 500 is quoted. Let me pick the 500. Then next we have here, let us go to the next line amount. In the next line amount, which GL is hitting? Is it a cash or bank? Let us see, do we have any cash and bank? General ledger account. Okay, so we'll be having here, see here, cash and bank, both we have in this company. Yes, let us pick the bank account. So it's a numeric says GL account. So how we gonna create this 200105 is what we learn as a part of a consultant role over here. So let me pull a bank account. Then it's going on a credit. As simple as that when we do the end user role. right? So it's a picking up. We are picking nicely. We are picking the things because these are already set up done. So how do we do this setup? How do we do group? Why the need of group? We'll see. Okay, so let me put 500 as a credit. Now system what automatically takes? It will take. Okay, let me change my company code. I'm so sorry. Let me change our company code to TA00 and the same exercise we'll do here. Okay, so when I post the transactions here, what it is saying, account 400300 requires an assignment of CO object. So FI is a part. Yes, we are posting the general ledgers, which account it is hitting. Let's say, for example, it is asking for a CO object. What is a CO object? Can anyone tell? CO object. What is a CO object? What error it is popping up? Yes, CO object cost center. Very good. Very good. So CO object, when I say CO object, yes, it is accounting assignment. It's this one which we were talking about. Both goes hand in hand. Both goes, FI and CO goes hand in hand. So when I say overhead costing, as a part of controlling cost objects, maybe cost centers, right? Maybe internal orders, maybe profit centers, any one of the, yes, cost dimensions. Exactly right. We need a cost object. So actually what cost object says here, let me give an example quickly. Now we discussed here about a travel expense paid, expenses account debit to bank account, or transport charges paid in our example. So let me pull the transport charges over here. Transport charges account debit to bank account, we paid. Okay, now but these transport charges are further divided. Are we paying the transport charges only for transport from there to here, or is it having any breakup? Like a transport charges of an invoice may have driver charge, petrol charge, toll gate charge, tea tiffins charge, cleaner charges, if any. So what we do, we will not create these many GLs. We need only transport charges to be updated as my expense. But having said that, my transport charge is including further breakup. Now, if I have to see as a management, how can I minimal my expense in which area? This 500 is further divided into here 150, here 50 or 100, here 50 or 100, here tea tiffins 50, and cleaner charge as 100. Total 500. So how can I minimal my cost objects? How can I minimal my cost overheads in my company? Is it by petrol charge? It takes, we cannot. I either instead of petrol, I can go for diesel. Can I go for diesel vehicle? Yes, maybe, may not be. So it depends. It depends upon the management when we are going for a taking the decisions at the cost areas. Is it some other area so that I can reduce my toll gate entering in a shortcut to the another state or something? May or may not be. So how can I minimal? So this is the analysis they'll do. This is the analysis. Now here, how it's going to affect in our system? How do we do these things? How do we do post these things? Like for example, let's take driver charge 150. So let me see first of all cost center are available or not. So here we can post the cost objects. Here cost center, we have an internal order, we have a profit centers, so on. Okay, so let us take the cost center. So here we have a driver charge and toll gate, only two cost centers. So let us divide our amount as per the driver charge and the toll gate. So let us come out of our little bit, what you will say, example. So I'll change my example amounting to toll gate 100 and this is rest of this is 400. Let me change in this way. Okay. Now I'll remove this GL, which is a bank account. Either I can select and delete or let it be, because we are just looking for an example. 400, 300, let us take debit. Again, one more 100 for the toll gate cost center. So my GL is going to hit, the same GL is going to hit to the two further cost objects. Now see, my amount here shows 500 debit and 500 credit. Everything is good to go, green color. This is an end user who is picking up. But how do we do setup? Can you observe? My debit is not equal to credit. It will not allow us to move further. This is a control which is given by SAP. Okay. Right. So as an end user, I'm happy. I'm happy to pick the currency already populating, company already populating, some business areas. These are the locations now. TAHY are the locations. I don't want to go in a depth now, but as if now I want to show you, yes, populating, GL accounts are populating. Whatever the GL accounts we required, they are populating, cost centers are populating, and we are picking happily and we are trying to post a document. But how these are created, how these cost centers are created, how these GLs are created, what is the use of selecting this 400, 300 starting as an expense, and what is the use of selecting two series for a bank or cash account? Why we are picking those? How can we separate? Is something we will be trying to learn as a part of. Yes, exactly. Organization setup or enterprise setup, we can say. And when it comes to GL grouping and all, that is a part of a GL, general ledger module. As a part of general ledger module. So let us post this transaction. First, let me simulate. This is a simulation. Entries will show. We're going to learn about what are the posting keys, what are the posting periods, how the physical year is picking up 2022. Why period is 01, even though we are in a April month, it is showing period 01. So how did it got set up? How the physical year got set up? How the company code got set up? Okay, so how these expenses got set up? So let me go back and let me save this entry by clicking on a save option. So if someone is from your end user, is this the way you will do the general ledger postings? Yes, no, maybe. Quickly on the chat box. Mostly done service entries. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let us save the transaction. Now, what we gonna learn? What we gonna learn as a part of our module, general ledger module? We will try to learn here like groups. Like when I say groups, just now we have seen bank account and cash account was starting with the 2 series and my expenses were showing as a 400 series. Let me take you back. Okay, let me take you back here to show you just GL expenses, how they were populating instead of going in depth again. So this, if you observe, so all my 1 series accounts, all my 1 series GL accounts are showing as a liabilities. These are my liabilities, share capital, P&L, outstandings, creditors, advances. Okay. When I talk about 2 series, they are more to do with the asset. When I talk about 3 series, they are more to do with the revenues. If you observe sales, sale of account, sale of asset, increase in decrease in stock, P&L like profit on sale of asset. When we talk about four series here, starting with 4 series, 40000, 4001, yeah, chart of accounts, right? So these all goes as a expenses. These all go as a expense account. So how do we do that? Yes, with the help of COA terminology, chart of account or account groups. We create a groups in such a beautiful way that when we see the series itself, okay, I can see 2 series, all the assets are created. 4 series, when I look at the 4 series, yes, all the expenses are created. All the 1 series, when I see 1 series expenses, I can say, or sorry, 1 series GL accounts, I can say my liabilities are created with this series. When I pull out the report, any report, okay, now let me take you through FBL 3 and report, which is a GL account report. I can give the series like one series, one asterisk, or 1000, starting with to 199, all 19 series. 19 series, all items, just pull me a report. So all my liabilities account will be shown. All my liabilities can be displayed. Share capital account. Okay. So some sundry creditor account, outstanding salary. See, all my advances from customer. All these GL accounts will be shown, and I can see only my liability, only my liabilities. I can display only my liabilities. When I go for 2 series here, just let me change the series. 2 series, all my assets can be displayed. All my assets like plant and machinery has this value, cash account has value, bank account has this value. Sundry debtor has value. So all the values based on a grouping. The nice you group, the more it will be comfortable for us to take further. Like it can be a processing, reversing, or reporting, whatever you're going to do till you get the extract of your financial statements. Reporting we can see in a proper way. We can see how we can post. Like for example, just now we posted 400, 300 GL account. Okay, now I want only 2 accounts, 400, 300 as a group. Or if I want a single 400, 300, yes, I can see 400, 300. This is the account just now. What we posted is 500. To which account we posted just now? We posted to not 400, 300. Hold on a moment. Let me pull the account for you. It's a transport charge we pulled. Let me pull a transport charge for you. Okay. Transport 400, 100. I'm sorry, 400, 100. No, not 400, 100. Which account we posted just now? Any idea which account I pulled out? I said transport charge, but which account I pulled out? Can you put in a chart window? Salaries? I don't think I have posted to salaries account. Okay, whatever it may be. So you can see the documents which posted on a date. Expense account, it's okay. It's okay. I'll pull, we can do it this way also. No need to worry, but I don't want to complicate the things here. It's okay. We can able to display the report. Is this the account? Yes, we posted to 1000. Bank account 500 got affected. So this is account is showing. Let us go with this date, taking this data. Okay, so you can see a bank account here, 500, 100. And here, let us go to the document number, in-depth document overview. So bank account is hitting. Yes, our salaries account is hitting. And the salaries account, because there is a breakup of 400 and 100, so the separate cost centers, it was showing 400 separately, 100 separately. Okay, it was a salaries account we pulled out instead of transport charge, I guess. So it's okay. Anything would be fine. So this is about just an example we have taken. Okay, but when it comes to accounts payable, so not only this one, we are not, this is a base, general ledger is a base module which connects accounts payable, accounts receivables, asset accounting, other modules. So what is the difference between general ledger module? Now you might get a doubt, okay, when we are trying to learn entire GL setup, cost, general ledger groups we covered here, general ledgers, we can do the postings here itself. Now, why do we need accounts payable? Why do we need accounts payable module? Payables also I can post here. Payables also I can post here. Sundry creditors also I can post in the GL account. But why do we need accounts payable here? Accounts payable, this particular module will deal with our vendor accounts. It's a subsidiary ledger. It's not a direct ledger. It's a sub ledger or subsidiary ledger. It acts as a subsidiary ledger. For reporting purpose? Yes, exactly. So yes, it's for reporting purpose also. Now, let me give you a small example. Let me give a small example why we need accounts payable. We have balance sheet account. In balance sheet account is somewhat liabilities are getting affected and the assets are getting affected, right? So it can be having further division as current asset, fixed assets. Okay, but in a liability we'll be having share capitals, right? Then we'll be having reserves and surpluses. Now we'll be having current liability. As a part of current liability, we will be having this one. Which one? In current liability group, this is a main group, we'll be having sundry creditors. Now, if it is only one or two vendors, if it is only one or two party, one or two sundry creditors, then we can simply create sundry creditors and we can make the payment with the help of our outstanding GL account. But what if we have hundreds of vendors or more than 5 to 6 vendors and we are making directly payment? It's a payable account. It's a payable account and we are making directly payments through SAP by issuing cash, check or bank. Cash, then cash transactions will post, nothing else is required. Directly you can post in the GL accounts. But what if sundry creditor term itself says credit purchases? These are credit purchases, right? When we talk about vendor account, that is a credit purchases. It's a payable. It's a payable. That's the reason it is coming into the liability as a sundry creditor. If it is a cash, no need to worry about all this accounts payable module. Directly you can post in a GL, general ledger module, as cash paid for so and so expenses. But credit related, maybe it can be payment terms when we can pay contract, or I can say number of days we got a credit to pay. Credit days may different vendor to vendor. Agree? Like few vendors, as per the agreement between our company as well as the sundry creditor vendor, we may agree to pay to the different, mostly 30 days, right? Very good. 30 days, 160 days, 140 days, or within a 15 days or 3 days, 7 days, there will be different vendors getting paid through the different credit days, getting paid to different bank accounts. All the vendors will not have a same bank accounts. They will be having their own bank accounts, right? Will be getting paid to their bank accounts. From our bank account, yes, company bank account, maybe 1 or 2 or 10 max, but vendor accounts will differ. So how we are going to maintain the vendor related data for these credit purchases? How do we want to show entry when we receive an invoice? Yes, we have done a credit purchases. Then later on, we are making the payment. How we gonna deal with all these terms like credit days, payment terms? Okay, so payment methods. Few vendors will be on a check method. Few vendors will be on a bank direct ACH mode, bank transfer, wires. How we gonna do that? After paying also, to which vendor we have paid? How did we paid? Is it through system directly? We are pulling through automatic payment program, or are we going to do it manual issuing of checks? How we going to do all these things activities with the help of this accounts payable module. This accounts payable sub module as a part of FI supports all the vendor related activities, and it acts as a subledger. When I talk about subledger, it's a subledger to our creditor account. Subledger to a creditor account. It's a payable hits as a sub main GL. This will be a main GL. It will be our main GL. As a sundry creditor in a balance sheet shows the full amount. For example, if I have a different vendors, ABC or XYZ vendor, total amount sum 20,000. Okay, some YYY vendor, total amount payable is 30,000. Okay, some other vendor, XY1 vendor, is totally 60,000. So how this is gonna do? We will be posting to these vendors through the payment terms and the credit, how much we have taken for the services which we have taken. But my sundry creditor main GL account shows total of this, so that I can do all the vendor related activities happily here and my creditor related activity here. Total as it will reflect in a balance sheet account. So this will not hit, these vendors will not hit. What I mean to say, these vendor will not hit directly to my, it will not hit. This GL account will get hit. This is the main GL account which is gonna hit. How do we do these kind of settings as a consultant? So that an end user can post the vendors based on the vendors, whatever invoices he received, so that my balance sheet will hit with this sundry creditor amount 1 lakh total. How are we going to do this? How are we going to try to create these vendors? How are we going to link up these things is what we will trying to learn as a part of our accounts payable module. Different vendor groups again. Like we have a domestic vendor, we have a foreign vendor, we have a contract vendors, we may have service vendors. How to segregate again vendors? Different types of vendors, so that when I post my account, it will show me, we can have a report displaying with the different vendor groups like domestic vendors, contract vendors or service vendors, foreign vendors, and the vendor levels like XYZ, YYY, XY1 vendor. And in my balance sheet, I can view sundry creditor only report. This is what. Shall we go for a quick small example over here in a SAP, how it's going to affect? Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Yes. So we'll see how it gets affected over here. Okay, so this window also looks like the same like GL processing window. But if you observe change in company code, it's already TA00 is populating. So we'll be having TA00. This transaction type will show either you're going to process your invoice or credit memo. So if, let's say, for example, if I'm pulling an invoice, which vendor invoice? Which vendor invoice? So here we should be little careful. When I select the vendor, we are going to view the report of this particular vendor only. Okay, so we have three vendors over here. So let us pull out Chetan Private Limited. While viewing the report also, we'll do the same thing. Okay, so Chetan Private Limited, invoice date. So which invoice, today's date, I'll pull out. Reference, I'll pull out, okay, INV1, INV, okay, Chetan, right? CH001 for Chetan. Amount, let us take any amount or 1 lakh amount, it's up to you. But I am taking some 1,000, just it's a test one. Now, it depends. If you want to go for a calculate tax, you can go for a calculate tax. So let me take a calculation of tax, but I'll not take any tax here. So it's a test for setup step up. Okay. Then next we'll go for the GL account. So as I said here, vendor account is getting affected our Sunday creditor account. Okay. So first of all, let us do one more small entry over here before we start off. What is the credit purchases entry? Normal general ledger ID for credit purchases from so and so vendor. Let's take XYZ vendor or Chetan vendor. Some thousand INR or dollar, whatever. I need an entry in a chat box, please. For credit purchases. Right, credit vendor. Yes, very good. So we do purchases account. So here I have a credit purchases account, or I can say purchases account, because when I pull out the vendor, right, purchase account, it can be, I'm so sorry, please ignore my spelling mistakes, purchase account or any expense account. It no need to be only purchases, it can be any expense account. Okay, like we are paying for rent to the vendor, we are paying for water bottles, okay, any transport charges, it can be any expenses to the vendor account. Debit to vendor account XYZ, or here Chetan vendor. Credit. Agree? Yes, no, maybe? Any disconnects here? Right. So this the same thing, purchase or expense account to Chetan vendor account. Now I have selected vendor. Here it is showing debit. So which one debit will go as a purchase account? So let us go for the purchase account debit. So purchases services I am taking. So it covers all the expenses as well, whatever service we have purchased. Now amount is 1,000. So up to here, yes, we have done. So what it is saying, for these purchases, put a valid tax code, because I have selected taxes here. Okay, so we can select the taxes over here. Let us select input tax, or either 9% GST, IGST if it is an INR. If you can go for US, any different taxes. So VAT tax exempted I'm putting, or take any percentages of tax. We can see, but don't try to understand everything at one shot, because we are just concentrating on debiting our expenses. We have debited our expenses and we have credited our vendor. So it is saying cost object. Okay, let us take the same cost object, whatever there in the system. So for the services of purchases, we have some cost center incurred. So this is a same cost object I'm taking to move on. Okay, so business area, which location, which business area is it hitting? So we have created TAHY. In later sessions, we can discuss about these business areas and baseline date and all. As if now I'm selecting the ones which we have in the system. Okay. Now taxes. How these taxes can be done set up? How these taxes, when I'm selecting calculate tax, it's populating and it is giving me the taxes to select. So how we gonna do that setup as a V2, V3, V4 percentages? How we gonna do this GL account setup? How do we gonna do this vendor account? Now let me show you the agenda of here vendor account. When I pull the vendor account and I simulate the document over here, this vendor account, Chetan account, this Chetan account hitting to which GL? This you can see the screen, this screen selected one, my mouse pointer. How it's going when I selected this vendor account, by default, my system is pulling this GL account. Actual GL account hitting is 100, 201. Let me show you what GL is it. This is a current liability sundry creditor GL. Sundry creditor GL. So main GL is this sundry creditor account. And this vendor account is a subledger. Vendor account is a subledger. So how we gonna do this setup as a consultant? How we gonna create this GL and link up to this vendor? Vice versa is what we are going to get trained over here. From this depth, we will be going for the trainings, how we can create the vendor, how the vendor can be created, how can the GLs can be created, then how these two can be linked up so that I can, when I hit my GL account processing the vendor accounts, automatically my GL accounts will get hit. And this vendor will act as a subledger. Shall we post the document and see how it's going to affect report wise? Yes, no, maybe. Right. One vendor can have multiple GL accounts, right? We will do the vice versa also. We'll post the multi-liner also. No issues. Okay. It's a simple example we have taken. Let us say now how the GL account will get hit. First GL account I'll show you. FBL 3N is a report for GL account. Okay. So 4 lakhs account we posted this time. Right. So I'm pulling all items as if today's date 04/04/2022. Today's date. Okay. So select and pull the report for 4 lakhs. So my purchase account says, because we have here taxes also, purchases of services says taxes account. So this is what we posted, right? Purchase of services 917 and the taxes account is reflecting. Tax receivable account, if you want to see, you can see this also, no issues. We'll select 2 accounts here, tax receivables account also, the 21 series account. So that 1000 amount you can just for your idea purpose. Tax receivables account I'm pulling. 2 reports at one go will pull out for this particular GL. Okay, so this 19001 got posted 917.43 and this one 82.57 is what totaling to 1000. Okay, so this also I posted today, but this is 100 which is equaling to along with the taxes, but this is one which you need to see 19001. Okay, so this is about the purchases is getting hit, tax receivable is getting hit. Okay, then next we have here sundry creditor account. So let me pull the sundry creditor account. 100,201 is my sundry creditor. Now observe how your sundry creditor behaves. This is an open item. Okay, so this is a 1000 document which we posted with the text test step. my sundry creditor, this will hit in your balance sheet. This sundry creditor and the GL accounts will hit your balance sheet, not the vendor account. Now vendor account. Let me show you vendor account also. This is a vendor account report. So we'll pull only Chetan vendor here. All items as of today's date, okay? So as I said, 100 I posted for test today before we start off the session. So 19001 is a 1000 which is getting affected. But this Chetan Private Limited will nowhere hit in your balance sheet. Only your creditors will get hit, your GL accounts will get hit, and this will act as a sub ledger. So here now going forward, I can make this payment to the vendors by looking at the open items. 1100 is a total payable to this Chetan vendor. I can pay through the automatic payment run or manual payment run. So how it is affecting, how we can create is something which we are going to see as a part of our trainings. So same vice versa, we'll go for accounts receivable, asset accounting, also sub module, how the sub ledgers can be created, how we can do asset postings, asset acquisition, as depreciation, how it hits automatically without human intervention or much manual intervention of posting depreciations. As a part of asset, we'll try to cover sale of asset, transfer of asset, debtor accounts, dunning, as Parminder was saying, and reporting, not only postings, till we get the financial statement extract. Okay, let me show you that as well. Okay, so the different accounts, how the cash account is hitting, how the share capital is hitting, how the creditors are hitting. How we can do our own reporting format, how we can change this format, how we can more simplify our format. So this is a default system provides format. So how we can do the settings for these formats and all, we'll try to learn as a part of reporting. MMSD integration, yes. As a FICO consultant, we should be aware of at least minimal part of integration. Yes, we will try to see minimal MMSD integration. How to set up the cost objects, like we have seen only cost center, right? We have taken example of cost center. So how to do the cost object, internal orders, profit center. So where we are gonna use, why profit centers are needed, how we can post with the help of internal orders, why those are needed, operating concerns, profitability analysis. These are the few other terms which we'll be discussing in depth when we start our trainings. Yeah, I think Parminder, I'm done. So you can take it up.
Thank you, Abida, for covering this. Before I take it up and we go further, guys, I'm sharing a link on the chat window. So this is a link for the session what we have done today. So you can go there and mention your learnings, key learnings. And if you don't have anything to mention, please mention. Abida has spared out the time. So over the LinkedIn, please mention thank you, Abida, for the session. Okay. So the LinkedIn link has been shared. Please go to the link and put your key learnings. If any questions which we missed to answer it, please mention that questions also, or you can also put thanks, Abida, for the session which she has done. So once you have done that, please mention on the chat window done. Okay, once you have done, please mention on the chat window done. The LinkedIn link is available. Earlier, Bhupender has also shared the FICO link. I'm sharing it again. If you want to enroll for the SAP FICO training, the link has been shared again. Now we'll be jumping ahead. If you have any kind of questions which you want to ask on the topic of SAP FICO, you can ask it now. You can raise your hand, and then we will be giving you chance to unmute yourself to ask it if your question has been missed. So we'll be going into the two ways. One, first we will be going ahead with the FICO related questions, and then we'll be going into the career consulting questions. So you can start putting your question on the chat window. You can raise your hand if you want to unmute yourself. Okay. So I'm getting a first question. As a technical ABAPer, is this FICO course is a good entry for the jumping into FI functional consultant? So from the people who are not, we have also the success stories. You can go and check on our YouTube. Vishu is the one who was not from the technical finance background, but still he was able to switch as a SAP FICO consultant. So if you want to, from ABAP, if you want to jump into the FICO, it's still possible, Ram. You would be able to jump it. Make sure that you have an overview of FICO. Okay, while you're working in ABAP, you might be having got some overview of FICO module. That's what we expect. And when you'll be joining this training, the people who are not from the finance background, even without finance background also you can do it, right? I would be also giving you one free training also, which you need to go through it. Maybe you can do it parallel, or it would be a small training. You can go through it beforehand. That would be making sure that you have all the knowledge of credit, debits, T accounting, general ledger accounting, not about SAP, but the basic of finance. One course I would be assigning it to you free of cost. A course would be there so that you can know first the basics of finance, and then you can continue with this FICO course, SAP FICO course. Okay, Ram, I hope I would be able to answer your question. Anyone has any other questions? So by the time you are typing your comments on the LinkedIn link which has been shared, I would be quickly sharing you that what you get it once you enroll for this course. Okay. Once you are done, please make sure mention done once you have done the commenting on the LinkedIn post. So let me share my screen. So this is the detail of the course which you would be getting it. Okay, so we have put everything in bundle. So what we did, everything which you require to make you as a SAP FICO consultant, to get you a job as a SAP FICO consultant, and to work in the project as SAP FICO consultant, we put all the resources together and we give as a part of bundle. So this is the mastery to SAP S4 FICO. So you, as soon as you would be enrolling for this course, if you enroll today, all these products would be assigned to you today itself. So you would be having all the recorded videos from the previous session here would be available, so that you can start your learning journey from today itself. Make a note of it. There is no tomorrow. Okay, there is no tomorrow. The people who said that think about it tomorrow, I have inquiries and chatting with them for last 1.5 years. The tomorrow never comes, right? So whenever you want to start your learning journey, start it from today itself. So as soon as you enroll, even before we have a first live session on next Saturday, you can start going through the videos from here. You can also check the detailed curriculum, what things has been covered in our last session, last batch which we have covered. You would be able to check it from here. Okay. So all the key things which has been covered, you would be able to check. And the live session links, you would be getting it from here. We have a gamifier SAP FICO live. You would be getting a live session links from here, and the recording of the live session would also be available in this section. So these would be the key content. Then we also giving you one more training, which is SAP Job Hunt Mastery. Job Hunt Mastery would be a detailed training, which is cooked by me. It's almost more than 40 or maybe it's gone around 50 hours of training on Job Hunt Mastery, which will be taking you that in implementation projects, what kind of things you need to do it, in a support project, what you need to do it in very detail. So it will also let you know that as a functional consultant, when you will be working on in each phase of the project, what kind of documentation you need to prepare. So what I have done, I have taken an implementation project and I have given a full exposure. I have explained the full business and what kind of things we have done in that business. Okay, so that kind of things we have. So that we also cover in this. So this is kind of a project. So if you will go in this is the project which you do. So you, in this one, we will be giving you a lot of assignments. In the assignments, you need to configure a company, end-to-end company you need to configure, and you need to do the transactions for that. And this is kind of a project for you. Okay, where one support project exposure and implementation project exposure has been given. And this will also guide you that how you need to prepare your CV. A lot of people are not getting jobs because the CV has not been prepared correctly. So this will also guide you how to prepare the CV. So this is a real-time project which I have explained it here, the full scenario of a real time, and then we go into the discussion and then we find it out that how the enterprise structure need to be finalized. And in each phase of the project, discover phase, what kind of activities you need to do. Here also the assignments would be there to create your own business blueprint document, how the functional specifications need to be prepared, how the test scripts need to be prepared. That assignments also would be provided here. How the test plans need to be prepared, training related to the IDocs, BAPIs, BADIs, all the other things which you need to know apart from SAP FICO or technical training is covered here, and we are giving it as a part of package. Okay, so that is a project Sukhvinder which you will be doing it. FICO interview questions are there. You would be, today you are into the step up circle session, right? Every Monday we'll be doing. Next Monday I will be covering the changes which has been done in HANA migration cockpit in 2021 latest server. The training would be happening on SAP S4 HANA. You would be getting SAP S4 HANA server access from here. And here also we have included all the videos which you need to go through while accessing our server. Okay, if you find some kind of generic issues, that fixes related videos has been there. How you need to log in, that video is also available here. It's a quite smooth and straight process. 3 months of server access would be provided. If you want to prepare for the interviews, you can come here for the interview questions preparation. And in the job and mastery also, we have a big section to make sure that you prepare well for your interviews. So if you will come down here. So this is the full interview preparation section is there, which is available here. Okay, so we are planning to move it up after the CV. We want to move it the interview preparation so that you would be preparing for interviews in parallel. We would be asking you, once your 1 month training is completed, we would be asking you to prepare your CV, apply your CV, and by the time you are learning more, you should also start giving interviews for SAP FICO consultant. Game of high flyers, you can check the success stories of the other candidates who become a SAP consultant after leaving their operation job, or from freshers they got converted, what kind of strategies they have applied. You can check it from the game of high flyers. You want to get certified, the certification related help is also available. You can practice the certification questions from here.